Hello friends, welcome to the channel. Have you ever wondered how we found out that every living thing is made of tiny parts called cells? This is the amazing story of that discovery, which changed how we see life. Imagine what the world was like at the start of the 1600s. Before microscopes were invented, no one had ever seen a cell. People had no idea that the secrets of life were hidden in such tiny cells, which couldn't be seen with the naked eye. But then, something amazing happened: the invention of the microscope. Dutch lens makers, Hans and Zacharias Janssen, made the first compound microscopes. Galileo even made them better. When the magnification reached 30 times, suddenly, a whole new world appeared. By 1665, in England, a scientist named Robert Hooke was looking through his own microscope at a thin slice of cork. What does he see? Tiny box-like structures. He calls them cells because they reminded him of the small rooms where monks lived. But there was a catch. Hooke had only seen the cell walls of dead plant cells. The living parts were still a mystery. Around the same time, in the Netherlands, a curious merchant named Antony van Leeuwenhoek took things up a notch. He made powerful lenses by hand and looked at a drop of pond water. And wow, he found a hidden world. Tiny creatures, swimming. He called them animalcules, which we now know as bacteria and protozoa. He even saw red blood cells and sperm cells for the first time. This was a big deal at the time, but the story didn't end there. A century passes. Microscopes got better, and so did our understanding. In 1838, German botanist Matthias Schleiden said, "All plants are made of cells." The very next year, zoologist Theodor Schwann said, "All animals are too." Together, they presented the cell theory, which has key points. First, all living things are made of cells. Second, the cell is the basic unit of structure and function in living things. But where do cells come from? Rudolf Virchow, a German doctor in 1855, he declared, "Omnis cellula e cellula," meaning every new cell comes from an old cell. This broke the old idea that life could just appear out of nowhere, and the cell theory was complete. Why was this discovery so important? Because it opened the doors to a whole new world. Now we know that life is made of these tiny units. This discovery started modern biology, genetics, and medicine. Imagine, if the cell had never been discovered, we wouldn't know the basic unit of life. We wouldn't know that the body is made of cells. There would be no knowledge of what the smallest unit of life's creation is. Without the cell, the answer to what is life would remain incomplete. The cell theory would never have been born. But if no one had ever seen a cell, the cell theory would never exist. The mysteries of diseases and infections would remain unsolved. We would never know that some diseases are caused by cells or microorganisms. Disease treatment would only be based on symptoms, not their causes. DNA, genetics, and genetic diseases would remain a mystery. Where is DNA located? We wouldn't have this information. Genetic diseases, inherited traits, and technologies like gene editing, CRISPR, would be impossible. Biology and medicine would remain incomplete. Without the cell, all these fields would also not exist. Cell biology. Without the cell, this whole subject is zero. Genetics. No knowledge of genes, DNA, and heredity. Microbiology. No discovery of bacteria or viruses without the cell. Histology. Tissue study could not be done. Modern biology would never exist. Education and scientific curiosity would remain limited. Conclusion: the discovery of the cell gave us the key to understanding life. The cell is not just a structure, it is the identity of life. If it had never been seen, science would remain incomplete. If you found this information good, please like, share the video, and subscribe to the channel. Thank you. Nature is ultimate.